than. Is it the extent of our interest and our work, really, to extend support and recognition only to include those gay and lesbians who choose and are able to come together in the model of straight marriage? My parents taught me that difference was a gift, that it gives one clarity, a clarity of perspective on the world, that it is in fact a necessary component for the development of empathy. My mother would say to me, if you're part of the main group all the time, you never get to see the world's point of view from anyone's point of view. You never get to understand the world's point of view from anyone's, wait, hold on, let me try one more time. My mother said it so often. If you're part of the main group all the time, you never learn to see the world from anyone's point of view but your own. The doors straight people automatically walk through in terms of relationship have been closed to us, and so we have had to choose, or I would say, we get to choose. We get to consciously make a path for ourselves. And yes, in some ways, this is harder. It's easier to follow a well-worn path than to try to invent a world from scratch. But it's that outsider status that has also given us the opportunity to choose and build meaningful relationships that don't fit recognized molds. Peter Gomes, the black gay conservative religious scholar and minister of Harvard's Memorial Church, speaks very compellingly of the gifts of marginalization. In his words, creative hope is most likely to be found where suffering has been the greatest and among those who have been marginalized. These outcasts, he says, may in fact be the watchers at the frontier between what is and what is to be. It's a funny spot that we're in, working very hard to eradicate our second-class citizenship, fighting with everything we have for full access and equality. And I absolutely believe this is what we should be doing. And yet I propose we should work just as hard to hang on to the gifts of our difference, the insight and the empathy granted to us by our marginalization, and to, in a larger way, reinvent the world, work to reinvent the world based on that. This duality of consciousness is very familiar to Jews, of course, and perhaps, and particularly conveniently for this event, most clearly in evidence in the Passover Seder, one of the most important holidays of the Jewish calendar, a holiday which in so many ways defines our identities as Jews, in which we simultaneously celebrate our emergence from slavery into freedom, and at the same time carefully and deliberately attempt to reconstruct the emotional state of enslavement, of oppression. In the Haggadah it says, and we read every year, in every generation, each of us should feel as though he or she personally went forth from Egypt. This is what it means, this is what the Bible means when it says, and you shall tell your children on that day, saying, it is because of what the Lord did for me when I went forth from Egypt. These words are absolutely familiar to anyone who has been to a Seder. And the instructions are clear in the Haggadah. We must not say them. We must say we were slaves of Pharaoh in Egypt. We are to personally identify with the oppressed. We are told that freedom is to be fought for, to be celebrated. It is of the highest value. But we must work just as hard to maintain the sense of empathy for the enslaved that was bestowed upon us, that was our gift when we ourselves were slaves. I want to thank you so much for including me in this event. And now I invite you to enjoy your dinner and discuss amongst yourselves. Thank you.